Hello students, in this today's class we are going to discuss the second colligative property which is known as a elevation in the boiling point. Elevation in the boiling point, that is increase in the boiling point, which is represented as a delta TB, where delta stands for change, that is the increase elevation, and TB is the boiling point. Now here in the vapor pressure lecture, I explained the definition of a boiling point of a liquid. What is the boiling point of a liquid? It is the temperature at where the vapor pressure of a liquid will be equal to the external pressure. That is the pressure at the surface of a liquid is known as a boiling point of the liquid at that pressure. Okay, once again, it is the temperature at where the vapor pressure of any liquid will be equal to the surrounding pressure, that is called atmospheric pressure. Such temperature is known as a boiling temperature or boiling point of a liquid. Okay, now the external pressure, if I consider 1 atmosphere, which is nothing but 760 mm of Hg, if the vapor pressure of a liquid which is equal to the surrounding pressure, that is the 760 mm of Hg, then the boiling point, the temperature is called the normal boiling point of the liquid. Now the standard pressure, which is a 1 bar, nothing but the 10 to the power 5 Pascal. If the external pressure will be equal to 1 bar or 10 to the power 5 Pascal, then the boiling point is called standard boiling point. If the vapor pressure of a liquid equal to the atmospheric pressure, that is a 1 atmosphere, then the boiling point is called normal boiling point of a liquid. Okay. Now we know when a non-volatile solute is added to a volatile solvent, then the vapor pressure decreases. This phenomena is known as a lowering of vapor pressure. Is known as a lowering of vapor pressure. What is the lowering of vapor pressure? It is a decreasing of the vapor pressure of a pure volatile solvent when a non-volatile solute is added to it. Let's suppose the vapor pressure of a pure solvent, now volatile solvent, will be P0, and the vapor pressure of a solution will be the PS. We know the P0 value always greater than PS, otherwise the PS value always less than the P0. Okay, why the vapor pressure of a solution decreases when a non-volatile solute is added to a volatile solvent? Because in the volatile solvent only the solvent molecules which are present, so on the surface they try to escape into the space. That's why they possess more rate of evaporation followed by more vapor pressure. But when a non-volatile solute is added to a pure volatile solvent, some of the solvent molecules on the surface replaced by the non-volatile solutes. That's why the number of molecules escaping into the space per unit time, per unit area will, what happens, decreases. Thereby rate of evaporation decreases and then vapor pressure also decreases. This phenomena is called lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, when the vapor pressure decreases, then the definition of a boiling point, that is the temperature at where the vapor pressure of a liquid should be equal to the surrounding pressure. When the vapor pressure of a liquid decreases, that means we have to increase the temperature in order to equal the vapor pressure of a liquid to the surrounding pressure. That means the temperature must be increased. That means here the boiling point of a solution will be greater than the boiling point of a solvent, because the vapor pressure of a solution decreases. So that's why the boiling point of a solution increases. And one more important relation we know, boiling point versus vapor pressure. Boiling point and vapor pressure are inversely proportional. Yes or no? Now the solvent possesses vapor pressure P0, and this will be equalized to whom? P external. Then how much of energy required, that how much of temperature will be required, that is called boiling point of the solvent. But in case of a solution, we know solution has lower vapor pressure. So in order to increase this vapor pressure to the P external, so we have to increase the temperature. That's why the boiling point of a temperature, the boiling point of a solution, which is always greater than the boiling point of a solvent. Yes or no? So the boiling point of a solvent, let's suppose TB0, TB0, whereas the boiling point of a solution will be the TBS. Here S stands for solution and O stands for solvent, pure solvent. So obviously the boiling point of a solution is always greater than the boiling point of a solvent, and the difference between these two boiling points is nothing but the elevation in the boiling point. Elevation in the boiling point. Okay. Now here change in entropy. We know change in entropy delta S is equal to Q reversible by T. Q reversible by T. Now in both the cases, the solvent only get undergo vaporization. Even in the solvent, even in the solution also, only solvent will undergo vaporization. That means only solvent molecules are get undergo vaporization and they are present in the vapor phase. Because solute is a non-volatile, it is not undergo vaporization. Remember. And one more important thing, just now I told you the boiling point of a solution will be always greater than the boiling point of a pure solvent. Okay. Now you see in this relation, which is delta S is equal to Q reversible by T, if the temperature will be less, that means at low temperature the change in entropy will be very high, whereas at high temperature the change in entropy will be very low, because at high temperature already entropy will be maximum. So at high temperature the increase in entropy value very less. That means the change in entropy and the temperature value inversely proportional. Yes or no? Now you see in the first case, solvent undergo vaporization. The change in entropy during the vaporization of a solvent will be equal to delta H vaporization of a solvent divided by the boiling point of the solvent. Okay. And in the second case, the boiling of a solution. So solution when boiling, the change in the entropy will be equal to delta S vaporization of a solution. Okay. So delta S vaporization of a solution will be equal to enthalpy of vaporization of a solution divided by the boiling point of the solution. We know the boiling point of a solution will be more. So in both the cases the numerator will be same. That means we are supplying same amount of heat energy. But here the boiling point of a solvent will be less as compared to the boiling point of a solution. That's why the enthalpy of entropy, change in entropy for the vaporization of a pure solvent is obviously greater than the change in entropy of the vaporization of a solution. Yes or no? From this diagrammatic representation also it is concluded. Here the change in entropy value will be maximum. Here the change in entropy value will be minimum. Are you getting my point? So the change in entropy value maximum, so it will be occurs at low temperature, and change in entropy value minimum, it will be occurs at high temperature. That means change in entropy and change in entropy, yes, change in entropy and temperature are inversely proportional. Okay. Now what is the definition of a elevation in the boiling point? It is the difference in the boiling point of a solution and a pure solvent. The boiling point of a solution minus boiling point of a pure solvent, because already I told you the vapor pressure of a pure solvent is always greater than the vapor pressure of a solution, but the vapor pressure and boiling point inversely proportional. That's why the boiling point of a pure solvent T naught will be less than the boiling point of a solution. Boiling point of a solution. Are you getting my point? So this is the TB naught, that is the boiling point of a pure solvent, and TBS, this is the boiling point of a solution. So the boiling point of a solvent is less than the solution. In other words, the boiling point of a solution will be greater than the boiling point of a solvent. Now what is the difference between the boiling point of a solution and solvent? That will be nothing but delta TB, which is known as a elevation in the boiling point. The actual definition here you see, when a non-volatile solute is added to a pure volatile solvent, then the boiling point what happens? Increases. The increase in the boiling point observed when a non-volatile solute is added to the volatile solvent is known as a elevation in the boiling point. Okay. Now here in this graph also we are plotting the vapor pressure taken on the y-axis and the temperature value on x-axis. Okay. Now this is the atmospheric pressure. This will be the atmospheric pressure. So we are taking the solvent and solution vapor pressure temperature curve. Do you know as the temperature increases, the kinetic energy of a molecules increases, thereby escaping tendency increases, thereby vapor pressure increases. But the increase in the vapor pressure will be in an exponential manner with the temperature. That means temperature increases, vapor pressure also increases, and the relation will be in an exponential manner. Now first of all, if you consider the pure solvent, the solvent vapor pressure curve will be like this. Are you getting my point? To this pure volatile solvent, when a non-volatile solute is added to become a solution whose vapor pressure will be always less than the pure solvent. That's why one more graph is taken which is below the pure solvent curve. The upper curve will be the pure solvent and the lower curve will be the solution curve. Okay, even if you see any temperature, let's suppose at a particular temperature here, what is the vapor pressure of a solvent? More. Vapor pressure of a solution will be less. That means vapor pressure of a solvent will be always greater than the vapor pressure of a solution at any given temperature. Let's suppose I am considering at this temperature. At this temperature, the vapor pressure of a solvent will be always more than that of the vapor pressure of a solution. Are you getting my point? Let's suppose if the solvent vapor pressure equal to surrounding pressure, then the corresponding temperature is called boiling point of the corresponding solvent. Okay, and this is the vapor pressure corresponding to 1 atmosphere and corresponding temperature is called boiling point of the solution. And the difference between the boiling point of a solution and a solvent is known as a elevation in the boiling point. Elevation in the boiling point. Okay, do you know the lowering of vapor pressure is directly proportional to molality, as the number of moles of a solute per kg solvent, as the number of moles of a solute per kg solvent, nothing but molality, number of moles of a solute indirectly increases. That means the vapor pressure of a solution decreases. When the vapor pressure of a solution decreases, lowering of vapor pressure nothing but P naught minus Ps. P naught minus Ps. When the Ps value decreases, so P naught minus Ps value obviously what happens? Increases. That's why the lowering of vapor pressure increases with increasing of molality. Okay. Now here the lowering of vapor pressure and elevation in the boiling point directly proportional, because if the vapor pressure decreases, the boiling point has to increase. Are you getting my point? So that's why the elevation in the boiling point directly proportional to lowering of vapor pressure. But whereas the lowering of vapor pressure directly proportional to molality, so indirectly we can conclude that the elevation in the boiling point is directly proportional to molality. Is directly proportional to molality. That means as the number of moles of a solute per kg solvent increases, then the elevation in the boiling point increases. Yes or no? Experimentally, it is concluded that the boiling point of a solution is directly proportional to its molality. Its molality. Yes or no? That means as the molality of a solution increases, its elevation in the boiling point also increases. Yes or no? By removing the proportionality, I am writing a proportionality constant which is known as a molal elevation constant. Which is known as what? Molal elevation constant. This is the molal elevation constant. Molal elevation constant is also known as a ebullioscopic constant. Ebullioscopic constant, that is the Kb. So the Kb value, it is a constant value for a particular given solvent. Okay. So delta Tb is equal to Kb times of the molality. Kb times of the molality. Here we are assuming the solute is a non-electrolyte. That means it do not undergoing any association or dissociation in the solution. Here the iota Vanta factor I am considering as a unity 1. What is the definition of molality? Number of moles of a solute present in the 1 kg weight of a solvent. Here solute must be what? Non-volatile. Yes or no? Now here let's suppose solute undergoing association or dissociation. When the solute undergoing dissociation or ionization, the iota value Vanta factor greater than 1. When the solute undergoes association, this is the association. When solute undergoing the association, the iota Vanta factor will be less than 1. So in the last class I completed what is the Vanta factor and what is the abnormal colligative properties and abnormal molar mass. Okay, if you have any doubt regarding the iota Vanta factor, please go and watch the previous videos. Yes or no? Now the delta Tb is equal to iota into molality multiplied by the Kb. Here I am not using here iota because in case of non-electrolytes, so they do not undergo ionization, so that's why we are using the iota value 1. But in the question, if it is given degree of ionization or degree of association, then we have to consider the iota, that is the Vanta factor. So delta Tb is equal to iota into Kb multiplied by molarity. Okay. Now here, what is the definition of a ebullioscopic constant or molal elevation constant? What is the formula of a molal elevation constant? That will be Kb, which is nothing but Cellaret delta Tb divided by Cellaret molality. Okay. Suppose if the molality value I am taking unity, if the molality value is a 1, then whatever the increase in the boiling point, nothing but the elevation, whatever the elevation in the boiling point, nothing but the molar elevation constant. Okay, the definition of a molar elevation constant: when increase in the boiling point observed for 1 molar solution, increase in the boiling point observed for 1 molar solution, such increase in the boiling point is known as a elevation, molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. Okay, and one more definition. What is the definition of a 1 molar? That means when 1 mole of a solute is present in the 1 kg weight of a solvent. Okay, it is the increase in the boiling point observed when 1 mole of a solute, which solute? Non-volatile solute, is added to 1 kg weight of a solvent. So the increase in the boiling point is known as a molar elevation constant. Okay, when the molality value taken as a unity, then whatever the increase in the boiling point, nothing but the molar elevation constant. And units for molar elevation constant value equal to, units value equal to Kelvin kg per mole, because the Kb value equal to delta Tb by molality. Delta Tb, that is the increase in the elevation in the boiling point. The temperature SI unit will be Kelvin, so I am taking Kelvin. Okay, divided by molality, units are moles per kilogram, so Kelvin kg per mole. What is the units for molar elevation constant? Kelvin kg per mole. Okay, and one more important thing, the molar elevation constant value depends only on the nature of the solvent. This is very, very important, and it doesn't depend upon the nature of the solute. It do not depend upon the nature of the solute. Even though if you change the different types of solutes in a particular solvent, unless until solvent do not changes, the molar elevation constant do not changes. Yes or no? Now, how to find the molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant, which is nothing but Kb is equal to R into Tb square into molar Kb is equal to R into Tb square into molar mass of the solvent divided by 1000 into enthalpy of vaporization of solvent. Okay. Now here RTb square whole divided by 1000 into latent heat of vaporization. What is the latent heat of vaporization? It is the amount of heat energy required to convert the 1 gram of a solvent, 1 gram of a liquid into 1 gram of a vapor at a constant temperature. Temperature must be constant. What is the enthalpy of vaporization? It is the amount of heat energy required to convert the 1 mole of a liquid into a 1 mole of a vapor, again at a constant temperature. If 1 mole of a liquid is converted to vapor at a constant temperature, that is called enthalpy of vaporization required. If the 1 gram of a solvent, that is a liquid, converted into vapor at a constant temperature, the heat energy required is called latent heat of vaporization. Okay. Now delta H VAP enthalpy of vaporization, LVAP latent heat of vaporization, it will be expressed in calorie per gram or joule per gram, and where M is the molar mass of the solvent. What is the M? Molar mass of a solvent in grams. Yes or no? Now R value 2 calorie per mole per Kelvin. Otherwise you can take R value as a 8.314 joule. Are you getting my point? R value 2 calorie per mole and per Kelvin here, per Kelvin. Otherwise 8.314 joule per mole per Kelvin. Yes or no? What is the Tb? That is the boiling point of the pure solvent in Kelvin. And what is the Kb? That is the molar elevation constant, whose units are Kelvin kg per mole. Okay. Now there are important solvents are listed here. Solvent is water, ethanol, cyclohexane, benzene, chloroform, carbon tetrachloride, carbon disulfide, diethyl ether, and acetic acid. And the corresponding boiling points are listed here, and the corresponding Kb values also listed here. Remember, the Kb value should be given in the numerical, should be given in the question. In most of the questions, the Kb value given. Otherwise, with the other data, we have to find the Kb value. Okay. Now for water, the Kb value equal to 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole. Kelvin kg per mole. So this is a valuable information. What is the boiling point of a water? We know the boiling point of a water, 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, in case of a Kelvin, 100 plus 273, so we can write 373 Kelvin. Okay, so here 373.15 strictly speaking, otherwise normally we can use the 373 Kelvin or 100 degrees Celsius. So what is the Kb? That is the molar elevation constant for solvent water, 0.52. So this is a very important valuable information. So we have to remember the Kb value for solvent water. Okay, because most of the questions, the aqueous solution where the solvent will be the water, that's why we have required the Kb value. So what is the Kb value for solvent water? 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole. If any other solvents, that is ethanol, benzene, chloroform, definitely the Kb value given in the numerical. Okay, because it is a experimental value. It is a experimental value. Okay, so there are some numericals. Question number 80. The latent heat of vaporization of water is given 540 calorie per gram and boiling point 100 degrees Celsius. Find the Kb value for water. What is the latent heat of vaporization of water is given? 500 calorie per gram. Okay. Now what is the R value in terms of calories? 2 calorie per mole per Kelvin. Yes or no? And what is the boiling point of a solvent water? 100 degrees, nothing but 373 Kelvin. Okay, directly we can use the Kb formula, that is equal to R into Tb square whole divided by 1000 into latent heat of vaporization. Okay, now R value 2, Tb value 373 Kelvin whole square, 373 multiplied by 373 divided by 1000 into what is the latent heat of vaporization is given? 540 calorie per gram. After simplification, you will get the Kb value as a 0.515 Kelvin kg per mole. Kelvin kg per mole. This is a very important value regarding the Kb value. What is the Kb for solvent water? 0.52, but here we are getting 0.515. Yes or no? Now the next question, that is the question number here 81. The molar boiling point constant for water, that is called Kb. What is the Kb value given here? 0.513 Kelvin kg mole inverse. Okay, when 0.1 moles of a sugar is dissolved in the 200 grams of a water, then find the boiling point of the solution at 1 atmospheric pressure. Yes or no? First of all, I am trying to calculating the molality. Molality nothing but number of moles. Molality nothing but what? Number of moles of solute whole divided by solvent weight. Weight of solvent. Weight of solvent. The solvent weight must be in kilograms. Okay. How many moles of a solute is given in the question? 0.1 moles of a solute. What is the solute here? Sugar. Do you know sugar is a non-electrolyte? In case of a sugar, the iota Vanta factor will be taken as a unity. Okay. What is the weight of a solvent? 200 grams. Now it is converted into kilograms. So that will 200 by 1000. So two zeros will be gets cancelled. Are you getting my point? Here you will get the 1 by 2. 1 by 2 nothing but 0.5 moles per kg. Moles per kilogram. This is the molality. Now what is the elevation in the boiling point? Delta Tb iota into Kb into molality. Yes or no? Now iota value taken as a unity and Kb value given as 0.513 and the molality value is a 0.5. So after simplification 0.2565. Are you getting my point? Now what is the delta Tb? This is the boiling point of a solution minus of boiling point of a solvent. So what is the boiling point of a solvent? That is the water. What is the boiling point of a solvent here? Boiling point of a solvent, that will be 100 degrees plus delta Tb value 0.256. Okay. So overall you will get 100.256 degrees Celsius. 100.256 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now question number 82. In the question number 82, which of the following solution has the highest boiling point? Now you see, in all these cases the molality remains same. You see 0.1 molal, 0.1 molal. Okay, that means if you want to find the delta Tb, which is equal to iota multiplied by Kb multiplied by molality. Yes or no? Now here in all these cases the Kb is a constant because solvent is water and molality is also constant. Then what about the elevation in the boiling point? It is directly proportional to iota. It is directly proportional to iota. Now in the first option, glucose, the iota, that is a Vanta factor value 1. In case of NaCl, Vanta factor will be 2. In case of barium chloride, Vanta factor will be 3. In case of urea, Vanta factor will be 1. So obviously answer will be 0.1 molal barium chloride has the highest elevation in the boiling point. Remember, as the number of solute particles increases, as the number of concentration of solute increases, the colligative properties increases. Yes or no? Now here the question number 83. What is the question number 83 here? The raise in the boiling point of a solution containing the 1.8 grams of a glucose. 1.8 grams of a glucose, C6H12O6. Do you know the molecular weight of a glucose? That will be 180. Do you know the iota? That is a Vanta factor for non-electrolyte glucose. That is also that is unity. Okay. Now first of all, the molar elevation constant. Here the question is the Kb. Now delta Tb value given as a how much? 0.1 degrees Celsius. Okay. And what will be the molality? So molality will be equal to number of moles of a solute by weight of a solvent in kilogram. So number of moles given mass upon molar mass. Molar mass is the 180 into 1000 whole divided by what is the weight of a solvent here? 100 grams. Are you getting my point? Here 3 zeros gets cancelled. 1.8 by 18, that will be equal to 0.1 moles per kilogram. So delta Tb is equal to iota multiplied by Kb multiplied by molality. Yes or no? What is the elevation in the boiling point? That will be 0.1. Iota value is 1. Kb value to be calculated and molality is also 0.1. So from here Kb value equal to 1 Kelvin kg per mole. 1 Kelvin kg per mole. That will be the C option. That will be the C option. Here small m nothing but moles per kg, unit for molality. Okay. Now question number 84. In the question number 84, the boiling point of a 0.1 molal K4FeCN taken 6. Do you know K4FeCN taken 6? It is called potassium ferrocyanide. Now the square bracket, up to this square bracket, it is called complex species or complex ion. It is a single ion. When it is dissolved in water, K4FeCN taken 6, when it is dissolved in water, how it dissociated as a 4K plus FeCN taken 6. Remember, the entire square bracket species is a unit species, single species. So total number of ions 4 plus 1, 5. Here the alpha value 100% because there is no information regarding the degree of ionization. So we are assuming 100%. So when the 100% dissociation, total number of ions produced nothing but iota Vanta factor. Okay. And what is the Kb value given? 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole. So from here we have to find the boiling point of the solution. Delta Tb is equal to iota multiplied by Kb multiplied by molality. Yes or no? Here you will get the answer 0.26 degrees Celsius. Now boiling point of a solution will be equal to boiling point of a solvent plus elevation in the boiling point. So boiling point of a solvent 100 degrees plus elevation will be 0.26 degrees. So answer will be 100.26 degrees Celsius. 100.26 degrees Celsius. That will be the option number C. Okay. Question number 85. The boiling point of a benzene 353.23 Kelvin. 1.8 grams of a non-volatile solute was dissolved in the 90 grams of a benzene. The boiling point raised to be 354.11 Kelvin. The molar mass of a solute. What is the question here? Molar mass of a solute. First of all, delta Tb. What is the delta Tb? That is the boiling point of solution minus of boiling point of solvent. Boiling point of a solution 354.11 Kelvin minus solvent will be 353.23 Kelvin. So the value will be 0.88 Kelvin. Okay. Now here, what is the delta Tb value? 0.88 Kelvin. Okay. And what is the Kb value for the solvent given in the question? 2.53, because it is a experimental data, should be given in the question. Okay, otherwise with the help of other information we have to calculate, because in the previous question you see we are calculating the Kb value. Okay, now delta Tb is equal to iota into Kb multiplied by molality. Iota into Kb multiplied by molality. Iota value, it is not given, so unless until if the information of solute is not given, we have to assume the iota value as a unity. Okay, what is the delta Tb value? 0.88. 0.88 is equal to iota 1 into Kb value 2.53. What is the molality? Number of moles of a solute. How to find the number of moles? Given mass, that will be the 1.8 grams by molar mass of a solute into 1000 by weight of the solvent. The weight of a solvent will be 90 grams, that is the benzene. After simplification of this, you will get the molar mass of a solute. Molar mass of a solute, which is 57.5 gram per mole. Gram per mole. So answer will be 57.5. So the nearest answer will be the 58. Yes or no? And the next one more question is there. This is the question number 86. In this question number 86, 1 liter of aqueous solution of urea having the density 1.06 gram per ml is found to have elevation in the boiling point 0.5 degrees. If the temperature of the solution increases to 101.5 degrees Celsius, then calculate the amount of water which must gone into the vapor state at this point. And Kb value for water is here given as a 0.5. Okay. Now first of all, what is the mass of the solution? What is the weight of a solution? Weight will be, mass will be equal to volume multiplied by the density. Here 1 liter water, nothing but 1000 ml water into 1000 ml of a solution into density of a solution 1.06 gram per ml. So overall we are getting the 1060 grams of solution. This is the mass of the solution. Okay. Now here urea, what is the molecular weight of a urea? Urea molecular weight will be 60 and urea will be a non-electrolyte. So what is the iota value for urea? It is taken as a unity. Okay. Now first of all, what is the delta Tb? Iota Kb into molality. Okay. Here what is the elevation in the boiling point? First of all given 0.5. So 0.5 degree Celsius or Kelvin equal to iota 1 into what is the Kb value? 0.5. Now what is the molality? Molality nothing but weight of a solute divided by molecular weight of a solute 60 into 1000 whole divided by weight of solvent. Do you know the weight of a solvent? We don't know. We know the mass of a solution. We know mass of a solution or weight of a solution. We don't know the weight of a solvent. From here we can write the relation between the weight of solute divided by weight of solvent. Weight of solute divided by weight of solvent will be equal to 60 whole divided by 1000. Yes or no? Let's suppose this will be equation number 1. Already we know the weight of solution. Weight of solution nothing but weight of solute plus weight of solvent. That will be equal to 1060 grams. Yes or no? You see 1060. So here from two equations, if you simplify two equations, can we find the weight of solute as well as solvent? Yes, that will be the weight of solvent will be equal to 1000 grams. And what about the weight of solute? Solute will be equal to 60 grams, because total weight will be 1060. Solvent will be 1000 gram. So solute must be remaining 60 gram. Now here again we are increasing the temperature. Now how much the temperature is increases? To 101.5 degrees Celsius. Actually what will be the increase in the boiling point here? 1.5 degrees. So the increase in the boiling point in the second case, this will be the second case. Increase in the boiling point will be 1.5 and Kb value will be 0.5. Iota value we know, same solute, that is the urea. So iota value I am taking the 1. Now here delta Tb 1.5 is equal to iota value 1, Kb value will be 0.5. Now molality, weight of a solute will be same 60 grams and molecular weight of a solute is also 60 and into 1000 by Now I am trying to calculating the weight of solvent. I am trying to calculating the weight of solvent because actually initial weight of a solvent will be 1000 grams, but when the temperature changes from 100.5 degrees to 101.5 degrees, some amount of water will undergo vaporization and the remaining water will be present in the liquid state. First of all, I am trying to calculating the weight of water in the liquid state. Okay, from here, what is the weight of solvent? What will be the weight of solvent? Solvent in the sense liquid form. In liquid form, the weight of solvent will be 1000 by 3 grams. Actually, total weight of a solvent will be 1000 grams. So, what will be the total weight of solvent? That will be equal to 1000 grams. Okay. Now, at 101.5 degrees Celsius, what is the weight of solvent? Still solvent is present at 101.5 degrees. That will be 1000 by 3 grams. Whatever the remaining amount of solvent, that will undergo vaporization. Okay. So, weight of solvent undergoes vaporization. Will be equal to total amount of the solvent minus solvent present at the 101.5 degrees Celsius. So that will be 2 by 3 times of the 1000 grams of solvent undergo vaporization. Nothing but 666.66 grams of a solvent undergo vaporization. Yes or no?